Hi, everyone. So this is another list. And by the way, I have two channels, in case you don't know. The other one's Canadian Studmuffin, which I've had for over 18 years. And there's different content on that channel. And later today, I'm doing a pre-recorded live chat with a couple of other YouTubers. And we're going to rank Paul McCartney's opening songs on all of his solo albums and Wings albums. So that should be posted soon. So stay tuned for that. This is another list, like I said, top 200 70s songs. And this is from Ultimate Classic Rock website. And so 200 songs. I'm not sure. Maybe I'll make this a two-parter, depending how fast I go through this. And I'll just let you know the songs I know and love or don't like. And I'd love your thoughts too. Please remember to like the video and leave a comment after you watch this. And please subscribe. Thank you. So here we go. Yeah, Rush 2112. I bought that on vinyl when it came out, and I really preferred 2112 compared to side 2. But still, what a great band Rush was. Van Halen, not a big fan of Van Halen, but I love their debut album, and Ain't Talking About Love is excellent. Another great 70s track, All Right Now. So far, I love all these songs. Mott the Hoople, yeah, All the Young Dudes, written, of course, by David Bowie. The great Tom Petty with American Girl. Canadian content, yeah. The Guess Who, American Woman. Big fan of the Guess Who. Their albums are so good. You know, they're mainly known for their hit singles, but I think a lot of their 70s albums are very strong. Yeah, I bought the Sex Pistols album when it came out. And like I've said before, it's scary. Back when there was no internet in the 70s, and you'd read about these bands, like these punk bands, and you'd take an interest in it, Ramones, The Clash, Sex Pistols, and you'd buy the album, and it'd be a little scary because you didn't know what you were going to get. But I loved Ramones and The Clash and Sex Pistols, like right away on the first listen. Yeah, Pink Floyd, another brick in the wall. The Wall isn't one of my favorite Pink Floyd albums. I mean, I do like it, but overall I prefer The Piper at the Gates of Dawn and Metal, and of course The Dark Side of the Moon, Wish You Were Here. Yeah, Jethro Tull, Aqualung, I have that. The remix by Stephen Wilson, which is excellent. Yeah, The Who. On my Patreon, I just did a full album listen to The Who Sell Out, which I do have, but I had not heard it in a few months. And I ended up giving it an A+. It just so good. Not really a fan of Eddie Money's. I mean, I like the songs like Baby Hold On, but I never bought his albums. Bruce Springsteen, of course. Yeah, I remember buying that on vinyl when it came out. Backstreets, although I prefer Born to Run, the song. The Sweet, yeah, very underrated band. I used to kind of, you'd see them on Top of the Pops, lip syncing and everything, and I wasn't really into the glam rock so much. But watching, like especially recently, watching live footage of them, like actually performing live in the 70s, they were a great live band. And I did love, Ballroom Blitz, some of their later songs. Action is another great one. Paul McCartney and Wings, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing a a pre-recorded live chat about Paul's opening songs on all of his albums. Yeah, Band on the Run. Oh, yeah, it's Band on the Run 1985. Yeah. So that was the B-side, I guess. T-Rex, yeah, I love that song, Get It On. And my favorite album of T-Rex's is The Slider. Barracuda. Yeah, when I was working, they'd have the classic rock radio station on all the time. And they would play, I loved Barracuda, but they would play that song so much that I totally got sick of it. But still, it is a great song. When like I always say, when a song is overplayed on the radio, it's not the song's fault. Rolling Stones, Beast of Burden, excellent. Some Girls, love that album. The great Elton John, Benny and the Jets, yeah. I know every song, aren't you impressed? But the 70s for me, I know, except for the 60s, of course, with the Beatles. But overall, I think the 70s were the best decade for rock music. Black Betty was a one-hit wonder, but it was quite the song. Kiss, yeah, I bought that album when it came out. Black Diamond is awesome with Peter Criss's vocals. It's my favorite Kiss album. Of course, you have to have Led Zeppelin, yeah. Black Dog, yeah. Love early Santana. Blinded by the Light, great cover version of Bruce Springsteen's song. I never bought any of their albums, though. But very good band. Ramones, of course. Like I said, I bought all the debut albums by all these punk bands. I don't really even consider Ramones punk. They're just a really good rock band that played their songs really fast. Queen, of course. Yep, I have all of their albums. There's Born to Run. Yeah, love The Boys Are Back in Town. Yep. Pink Floyd, The Dark Side of the Moon. Once again, probably an album that's overplayed by some people, but I'm not tired of it. I play it every few months, and I always enjoy it. It's one of the greatest albums ever for me. Yeah, love Early Pretenders. Their debut album is one of the greats. Another Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. Yeah, love Paul Simon and, of course, Simon and Garfunkel. From my favorite Stones album, Sticky Fingers. Yeah. And I bought, all of the early Bad Company albums. My favorite was actually Burning Sky. I think that's underrated. Yep. I have Moondance, Van Morrison. My favorite, though, is Astral Weeks, but Moondance is excellent. And the song Caravan. I might have bought one Kansas album, probably the one with Carry On Wayward Son. But I never really totally got into Kansas, but definitely a great band. And yeah, I used to buy Ted Nugent albums back in the day, including Cat Scratch Fever. Love David Bowie, have all of his albums. Yeah, ZZ Top. Love early ZZ Top, Cheap Sunglasses, great song. All of these are, so far there's not one song that I don't like. China Grove, the Doobie Brothers. Never really got into Eric Clapton's solo career, but Lay Down Sally and Cocaine are good songs. Styx, yep. Bought that when it came out. The album. Pieces of Eight, was it? Pink Floyd, Comfortably Numb, Love, Neil Young, Cortez the Killer, Crazy on You. Not one of my favorites, but yeah, Dance the Night Away. After their debut, I kind of lost interest in Van Halen. And never, people always ask me, like on live chats, hey, Larry, do you like Steely Dan? And not that I dislike them, but they're similar to the Eagles in a way, like not music wise, but just the songs are just maybe too good. They're too perfect that it just doesn't interest me. But definitely talented. Yeah, I like the song Do It Again. And Reeling in the Years is probably my favorite. Yeah, Peter Frampton, Do You Feel Like We Do? I think everybody in the 70's bought Frampton Comes Alive. Plus, I loved his work in Humble Pie, of course. Never bought any Jackson Browne albums, but Doctor My Eyes, good song. Domino, yeah. Love ELO. My favorites are actually El Dorado and ELO 2. They're early albums. More Tom Petty. Of course, Blue Oyster Cult. Their biggest song, but I think they're a very underrated band. They have so many great albums, but they're mainly known, for 2 or 3 songs. Burning for You and Godzilla and Don't Fear the Reaper. Foreigner, I never really, I like the songs, but I never bought their albums. Aerosmith, Dream On is a great song. My favorite album of theirs is Toys in the Attic. Of course, everybody bought Rumors when it came out. One of the great 70's albums. Eruption, of course. Evil Woman. Yeah, ELO had so many catchy hit songs. Bad Company, Feel Like Making Love. Fly By Night by Rush. Just great song after great song. Yep, Boston, I bought their debut album when it came out. Edgar Winter Group, I've got They Only Come Out at Night and Shock Treatment, which I think is a very underrated album. Great band. Lynyrd Skynyrd, of course, Freebird is a great song, but I never did buy any Lynyrd Skynyrd albums. The great Elton John, yeah. James Gang, I never bought any of their albums, but I love Joe Walsh. Give Me 3 Steps, good song. Yeah, love Supertramp. Give a Little Bit from Even in the Quietest Moments. My favorite of theirs, of course, is Crime of the Century. Go Your Own Way and the excellent Silver Springs. The Cars debut is excellent. Goodbye Stranger. Yeah, they kind of got a little bit, maybe a bit too poppy for me, but still, I still enjoyed them. Breakfast in America. Nazareth, Love at Nazareth, Hair of the Dog, excellent song. Pretty underrated band, really. Rolling Stones, Happy, yeah. Heart of Glass, excellent. Blondie was great. Neil Young, yeah. Heartbreaker, never bought any Pat Benatar albums, but Heartbreakers is an excellent song. Hello, It's Me, yeah. Just great song after great song. Help Me, Joni Mitchell. Highway to Hell, I used to buy AC/DC albums. Hollywood Nights is excellent. I usually like complaining about things, but this is a good list. Hotel California, of course, once again, it's an overplayed song, but still, it's a great song. Yep. I Want You to Want Me, Cheap Trick. My favorite of theirs is their debut album. Love Yes, have all their albums with John Anderson. And of course, John Lennon, one of my favorites. Instant Karma. Love Black Sabbath. The Aussie years. I never really got into the Dio years. Thin Lizzy, Jailbreak. That's a very good song. The Joker, I bought that album when it came out on vinyl. Yeah. Jump Into the Fire, a great rocker from Nilsson Schmilsson. Son of Schmilsson. The follow-up album is my favorite Nilsson album. This is going to be a long video. The Car is just what I needed. Great song. Kashmir, my favorite Led Zeppelin album. Probably one of my top 10 favorite albums of all time. Physical Graffiti. Killer Queen is great. Boom, Dylan, Knocking on Heaven's Door. Yeah. Love the Doors. Yeah, on my Canadian Studmuffin channel, we're going to be doing with a couple of other YouTubers, we're going to be reviewing the Doors' Other Voices, their first album without Jim Morrison. And I think we're going to be ranking the songs too. More great ZZ Top, Genesis, love Genesis, the Peter Gabriel years especially. Landslide is excellent. That's my favorite Warren Zevon album that I've heard. Yeah, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. What a great rocker. Layla, of course, classic. The Beatles, I've heard of them. Let There Be Rock, so good. I miss the 70s. Yeah, the Cars. Candy-O is awesome. Life in the Fast Lane. Life's Been Good, the great Joe Walsh. Oh, Like a Hurricane. Some of my favorite guitar work is in that song by Neil Young. His guitar solo is amazing. Live and Let Die, classic. Living Thing, another great pop rock song. Locomotive Breath. The Kinks' Lola. London Calling. Classic after classic. Love the One You're With. The 70s were so good. Well, except for Journey. Yeah, I was never a fan of Journey. I'm not saying I dislike them. It's just, they were just too commercial for me or whatever. Just didn't interest me at all. Low Rider, great song. Maggie May, of course. Maybe I'm Amazed, one of Paul's best songs ever. Yeah, I'm not a big Janis Joplin song, but I do like that song. Me and Bobby McGee. The amazing Paul Simon, one of the greats. Love his debut album. The Police. Not a big fan of The Police, but Message in a Bottle is probably my favorite Police song. The Rolling Stones, Miss You. Yeah, you know, the Rolling Stones going disco and like Rod Stewart did. And, you know, so when you hear that, it's like, oh no. But then the song is so good. It's one of their great songs. I think even Keith Richards warmed up to it. The Great Mississippi Queen by Mountain. Money, excellent. More Than a Feeling, one of the great 70s songs. My Best Friend's Girl. My Sweet Lord from All Things Must Pass. like I said, this shows you right here, like so many great songs from the 70s. Night Moves is possibly my favorite Bob Seger song. No More Mr. Nice Guy. What are your favorite 70s songs? Let me know. Ohio, of course. One of These Nights, great song. Ooh La La, I love the Faces. Have all their albums. Over the Hills and Far Away, Led Zeppelin. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Meatloaf, but back in the 70s, of course, I bought Bat on the Hill, and I did enjoy it back then. Yeah. Wow, Ozzy, that doesn't even look like Ozzy on the far left, but that is. Paranoid, of course. Not a big fan of Billy Joel, but, Piano Man's a pleasant song. Love that album, Rust Never Sleeps, Powderfinger, Prove It All Night, great song. Love Golden Earring, very underrated band. Of course, they're only known for a couple of songs, like Radar Love. At least in the States and Canada. They were, as some of you know, the first concert I ever went to was King Crimson in 1974 at Massey Hall in Toronto with Golden Earring opening up for them. It was great. Love Elvis Costello, Radio, Ramblin' Man. Yeah, Rest in Peace, Dickie Betts. Reeling in the Years, that's my favorite Steely Dan song. Refugee is excellent. Truckin'. Yeah, I'm not a big Grateful Dead fan, but I do like that song, Truckin'. Oh, there's Ripple. I know that is my buddy Glenn Kellaway from the Basement's favorite Grateful Dead song. He's a big Grateful Dead fan. Love the Doors, Roadhouse Blues, and Land Ho. Kiss, yeah, I like that. Rock and Roll All Night. I'm not completely familiar with Montrose. Rockin' Me. Rocket Man, great song. Rocky Mountain Way. Rosalita. Roundabout. So many. I love Roxanne, yeah. Van Halen, Running with the Devil. Running on Empty. Scenes from an Italian Restaurant. That's, gotta admit, it's a good song. School's Out, yeah. Search and Destroy. I don't have that album, Raw Power, so I'm not that familiar with it. Hall & Oates, who sadly aren't getting along these days. Shine On You Crazy Diamond, one of my favorite Pink Floyd songs. Slow Ride, great song. Smoke on the Water, yeah. Salisbury Hill from Peter Gabriel's excellent debut album. Somebody to Love, another classic. Stairway to Heaven, yes. Stay With Me, one of the great 70s songs. Stranglehold is awesome. Stuck in the Middle with You with Jerry Rafferty. Suffragette City. Boy, the 70s were good. Sultans of Swing, Surrender, Sweet Emotion. Just great song after great song. Sweet Home Alabama. I love Lou Reed, and I love the Velvet Underground. We're nearing the end. TNT. Take the Money and Run. Yep. Taking Care of Business and Let It Ride. Two great rockers. Boom Dylan, Tangled Up in Blue. Thunder Road is great. Tiny Dancer. Train in Vain, Tumbling Dice. I, I, I know I've heard the song, but I just can't picture it in my mind at the moment. ZZ Top. Yep. Two great songs there. Walk This Way from my favorite Aerosmith album, Toys in the Attic. Love it. Genesis, Watcher of the Skies. We Will Rock You. A little overplayed on the radio, but still, like I said, can't take away from it being a great song with We Are the Champions. Love Grand Funk, yeah. Warren Zevon, Werewolves of London. What a Fool Believes. That's when they started getting a little too poppy for me with Michael McDonald. What is Life? The great George Harrison. Yeah, Wheel in the Sky, I like that song. Whipping Post, yeah. Who Are You? The Who. That was the last album by The Who that I ever bought, because after Keith Moon passed away, their later albums, I don't know, just wasn't interested in them. Love CCR. Wild Horses, great song. Wild Night. We're nearing the end. Wish You Were Here. Won't Get Fooled Again, one of the greatest album closer, maybe the greatest album closer. You Ain't Seen Nothing Yet, another great song by BTO. You Wear It Well, Ziggy Stardust, and that's it. Yeah. The 70s were so good. Don't you agree? And that's why, people sometimes, not just me, but even other YouTubers, I guess, say, oh, you're so stuck in the past. Like, why don't you listen to this or that? It's like, because it might be good, but it's not as good as music from the past, for the most part. The 70s were incredible. So thank you for watching. I would love your thoughts. What are some of your favorite songs from the 70s? Bye.